Welcome to the Monster Hunter Ecology Report for Rathalos, the King of the Skies. Rathalos live everywhere, quite literally everywhere. In the old world, they established themselves amongst the top predators in every biome, ranging from swamps, forests, deserts, and even the ruins of the ancient civilization. In the new world, Rathalos seem to be more tame, being found only in the ancient forest and occasionally the Elder's Recess. Rathalos are large bipedal wyverns with strong legs and even stronger talons. They prefer to stay in the air, but they are more than capable of chasing down and running over a target. Rathalos are also covered in a spiny armored hide, and some variants are blue, sometimes silver, but the most recognized color is bright red. This bright red color also acts as natural camouflage for volcanic regions where Rathalos is more than likely to face off against dangerous enemies. Alongside their color are dark ornate patterns located on their wings, which scholars believe are used to attract mates. In terms of defense, Rathalos are armed with a long, spiked, club-shaped tail that they often use in tail flips and tail swipes. Like most members of the Wrath family, Rathalos also house a flame sac, which produces flaming projectiles. Rathalos have extremely high flying capabilities. It has been noted that a Rathalos can fly for more than 3 days in order to locate new lands, new ecosystems, and new prey. Rathalos also has the ability to administer poison using its talons. They use their talons in conjunction with their flight capabilities to swoop in and snatch prey from the ground. Then, once their prey is firmly within their grasp, they will start to administer poison, which will slowly drain said prey of its health and stamina. The New World's Rathalos is actually different from the Old World's Rathalos. The New World's Rathalos seem to have a much wider wingspan and better flight capabilities than the Rathalos of the Old World. It can be assumed that Rathalos had to adapt a wider wingspan in order to reach and survive in the New World. Alongside this adaptation are much smaller changes, such as the New World's Rathalos having a much lighter shade of red compared to Rathalos of the Old World. Rathalos are aggressive territorial wyverns that fear very few monsters. During mating season, Rathalos are even more aggressive, patrolling the skies in search of monsters that could threaten their nests. While aggressive, strong, and fast, Rathalos are also very intelligent. They will attack and chase off most monsters, but can accurately gauge whether or not a monster is more trouble than it's worth. For example, in the presence of Basilgoose or Deviljho, Rathalos will often fly off and hide, waiting until these nomadic predators leave or are dealt with. Once in combat, Rathalos will start by attempting to intimidate its target with a loud roar that can disrupt smaller creatures. Rathalos will also tend to stick to the air, launching fireballs from afar before swooping in to inflict poison damage with their talons. While on land, Rathalos are still dangerous, using their tremendous leg strength to run over their prey. In addition to this, Rathalos can also fire flaming projectiles, just like it does in the air, but will also attempt to bite the hunter and hit them with his tail. When aggravated, Rathalos' mouth will begin to leak out flames, causing its bite to inflict Fireblight. Rathalos will also spend more time in the air, and his fireballs will pack even more damage. Rathalos in the New and Old World seem to prefer much smaller prey, often hunting herbivores that they can easily catch, like the Aptonoth. Along with herbivores, Rathalos also hunt smaller wyverns, such as the Jaggi and Velociprey. While Rathalos is more than capable of hunting larger monsters, it prefers smaller monsters that it can easily grip with its talons. This is because Rathalos prefers to eat its prey in private, away from scavengers and other large monsters. Hunting smaller monsters doesn't consume as much energy and poses less of a risk compared to hunting larger monsters. Rathalos have several enemies, due to them being established in several different ecosystems. In the old world, Rathalos will often fight other large wyverns, such as Lagiacrus, Tigrex, Seregios, and many more. However, Rathalos attacks these wyverns strictly to chase them out of his territory, and to protect his domain. There are a few wyverns that not even Rathalos would fight. This includes elder dragons, much like other species of wyverns, and dangerous apex predators like Basilgoose and Deviljho. Rathalos is more than capable of standing toe-to-toe with either of these predators when it needs to, but it understands that the risk is much higher than the reward. Because of this, when confronted by either of these monsters, Rathalos will often choose to fly away and wait until said monsters leave or are dealt with by hunters. Strangely enough, it seems to understand that when an apex predator shows up, it disrupts the ecosystem, and thus a hunter is dispatched to deal with it. We will now go to our field ecologist, Sarlia, who will teach you how to handle Rathalos, as well as interesting facts we learned while researching this territorial wyvern.
Thanks, Professor Sparks. In this segment, we'll go over how to properly hunt Rathalos, as well as fun facts related to the King of the Skies. Many hunters have trouble finding Rathalos, especially in the ancient forest. If you're having trouble finding him in the forest, be sure to check Area 16 at the beginning of a hunt. If he still isn't there, try grabbing an egg from his nest. While unconfirmed, some hunters have reported that this aggravates Rathalos and will bring him to you, saving you the trouble of hunting him down. Rathalos prefer to stay in the air, away from dangerous attacks. Because of this, flash pods are an absolute necessity when hunting the King of the Skies. Fire one directly in front of Rathalos while he is flying and he'll crash into the ground. Flash pods can also be used to free hunters who have been pinned by this mighty wyvern. Rathalos, unlike Rathian, has poison located in his talons. His dive claw attack is the most common way for Rathalos to administer this poison. If you end up poisoned, be sure to drink an antidote. Rathalos, like many wyverns of the Wrath family, use fireballs to damage their prey from afar. If you're hit by one, be sure to roll 2 to 3 times to get rid of the Fireblight. Also note that it is common for Rathalos to fire a flaming projectile at the ground immediately after roaring. Rathalos has weak points similar to most flying wyverns. Its head and wings are both breakable, and its tail can be severed for an extra carve. If its wings are broken, there will be a small moment of vulnerability whenever Rathalos attempts to fly. Its back is also breakable, but striking Rathalos there will not inflict increased damage. Rathalos has 2 confirmed related species, the Azure Rathalos and the Silver Rathalos. Genetic mutations resulted in these 2 variants, and while similar, both types of Rathalos have differences that make them unique. Besides color, both variants are noticeably stronger and more aggressive. These variants will be featured in a future episode, so be on the lookout for that. Rathalos is a flying wyvern with noticeable intelligence. This intelligence is shown in Rathalos' general behavior. The way it selects prey and avoids troublesome predators is a step above most other flying wyverns. In fact, there is a species related to Rathalos called Zoraresu, located only in the tower. This wyvern has extremely high intelligence, reacting to how it is being hunted by crystallizing itself, based upon where it is taking its damage. Some Rathalos wyverns appear with a darker red tint, more developed spikes on their back and tail, larger leg muscles, and even higher flying capabilities. Whether or not this is due to aging, or simply a mutation of the wyvern, is unknown.
This concludes our Monster Hunter Ecology report for Rathalos. We hope you learned a thing or two today about the territorial wyvern, and how to properly handle him in hunts. This has been Professor Spark
and field ecologist Sarlia
with the Monster Hunter Ecology report for the King of the Skies, Rathalos.